Hello, and welcome to Alex Rogue and the Crystal Pendant. This week, we will be reading Chapter 5, Meeting Moran. So far, we have over 700 downloads for our first 4 chapters. If this is your first time happening upon Alex Rogue and the Crystal Pendant, please feel free to go back and listen to chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then meet us here with Moran in Chapter 5. Alex Rogue and the Crystal Pendant is written by Ryan Russon and narrated by me, Jordan Levine. A special thanks to all of our fans out there who are continuing to listen to our serial novel. Please share the love using Alex Rogue Book on any social media platform. Email us at alexroguebook@gmail.com or find us on Twitter @AlexRogueBook if you have anything you'd like to share or want us to give you a shout out in our next chapter. And now, without delay, Chapter 5, Meeting Moran. The moment the familiar beep of the alarm went off, I practically leapt out of bed and my heart started racing. It was August 14th, the day we would leave for this mysterious school. I still wasn't sure how to process this new world, this new life I had. Since finding out about Starden, I started training almost every day, and my parents and I were so involved with it that it consumed all of our summer. My birthday had been an afterthought, and we had barely celebrated it, given how much the cost of this new school was with the uniforms, books, and other supplies. It didn't matter much to me, since my present was really receiving these new powers. The actual date was near the beginning of summer, June 26 to be exact. But given the circumstances, plus my brother really wanted cake, we decided to do a little special something today before I left, as kind of a goodbye birthday thing. The term at Starden would begin tomorrow and extend through the next summer, as any other school year would. The only difference with this school was that I wouldn't be coming home every day. As I turned off the ringing alarm, I recalled earlier this summer how it all started. After killing Sakan, I went back inside, and when my parents got home, they told me everything about Starden. It was a school for students of the elements to train as a ninja or samurai, located on an island off the coast of San Francisco. At the school, there were different classes, and the principal, or emperor as he was called, was the old man that I had encountered on the hill, Master Citrus. But the school wasn't the only part of the island. Beneath the hill it was on, a large town and harbor stretched out along the eastern shores of the island. It was a lot to process, but so was learning that I could summon and control elements with a wave of the hand. From that moment on, I had trained in martial arts with my dad, and on my own, I practiced using my powers. My parents had both attended the school when they were younger, which is how they knew all about the island, and how my dad had such masterful training in martial arts. As for my powers, they were getting easier to summon and control, but still difficult and energy-consuming. It had now gotten to a point where I didn't need to be angry, but still extremely focused. Citrus could probably help me with that at Starden. Climbing out of bed, I eagerly threw on some clothes and bolted down the stairs. This was it. The last morning. Never in my life had I been so excited. "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Slow down there! Your breakfast is ready," said my mom as I practically flew into my seat. She placed a donut on the plate in front of me and then took one herself. "Thanks," I murmured. "No problem," she smiled back. "Now you eat up. I'm going to get ready." "When are we going to leave?" "In a few hours or so," she answered, trotting upstairs. My dad walked past her and came down. "Excited?" he asked, looking through the box of donuts on the counter. "Plain glaze, the best flavor, no doubt." He grinned, reaching for one. "Yeah, but..." I paused and thought for a moment. "How are we going to get there?" He bit into his donut. "The subway, of course." Phew, it was normal. "The subway of shadow," he finished. I sighed. Was everything strange and unrealistic in this other world? After taking that to San Francisco, We'll take the paddle steamer to the island." "So we have to take this train all the way to San Francisco?" I moaned. "Well, the subway of Shadow tends to go fast," he answered, taking another bite. "What do you mean, fast?" I asked. He smiled mischievously. "You'll see." I knew I wasn't going to get an answer. After I finished my donut, I put my plate in the sink and walked outside. Today, I would go to the bike jumps, as I had been meaning to do the whole summer. After all, I wouldn't see them for almost a whole year. Pedaling down the road, I made the right turn this time, and eventually branched off that road onto the small trail that led down to the bike jumps. There they were, the little golden-brown ramps shining in the morning sun. Ben and I had come here all the time in the past, to these jumps. They had been made a long time ago, back when my parents were kids, out of some excess dirt for a project that had been abandoned. I rolled over to the first jump, the second smallest of the four, and took off towards it. The bike picked up speed on the ramp, and a moment later soared into the air as the wheels lifted from the ramp. Then, before I knew it, I was back down on the platform at the top. It had been so long since I'd done this, and I'd forgotten how fun it was. Maybe I'd do a spin on the next one. I turned around and rode back down the ramp, braking once I reached the trail again. The second jump was coming up, but everyone in the neighborhood knew that it was bad. It had been made too short and at a gentle angle, basically giving you no airtime. I skipped this one and instead came to the next jump, the third one. This one was about 2 feet taller and steeper than the first, making it all the more fun. I started pedaling, slowly at first, but soon enough my legs were going wild. The bike came off of the dirt and arced even higher than before. It was awesome. But it was when I came back down that I noticed the figure waiting for me. I screeched to a stop, braking hard, right in front of them. Cautiously, I climbed off my bike and eyed the figure, but their face was invisible under a large hood they wore, similar to how Citrus's had been. "Hello, Alex," they said. Their voice sounded cool and harsh, yet somehow I knew I had heard it before. "Hello?" I answered the man slowly. Maybe he was like Citrus, coming to tell me something else about my first day at Starden. "Do you know Citrus? Are you his friend?" I asked. "Know him, yes. Friend? No. He is my father, but by no means is he my friend," the figure answered. He shifted toward me, and I inched back, getting more uncomfortable as each second passed. Okay, you must have me mixed up with someone else then. I'll just go," I said. I climbed onto my bike and didn't look back at the figure as I headed down the jump. But before I could go back down the huge ramp, flames sprouted up from the ground. Now I knew I was in trouble. I set the bike down again and turned back towards the figure. "All right, what do you want?" I asked. "Just to have a little conversation, face to face," he replied. He pulled back his hood, revealing a man substantially younger than Citrus, one that I knew I had seen before. His face, his voice, it just all seemed so familiar. "Who are you, and what's this conversation that you want to have?" The man laughed some more and grinned. "I think you know plenty well who I am," he replied. A thought popped into my mind. A name, one that I somehow knew perfectly well, but at the same time didn't know at all. "Moran," I mumbled. "What now?" he asked softly, grinning. "Moran," I said a little bit louder. Suddenly, my mind flashed to the conversation 6 weeks earlier on the hilltop with Citrus. Did he mention something about not revealing anything to this man? Was this the same Moran? "Correct. A name that you will soon learn to respect and fear," he paused. "Or one that you will rule alongside," he added. I raised an eyebrow. Whoever this man was, there was no way I'd join his side. "So, which will it be?" he asked. There was no way I could get out of answering this now. "I'm not sure," I don't know that much about either side yet. Although what I do know is that you sent your little snake to kill me earlier this summer, I said, slowly reaching for my bike. He didn't seem to notice. Sikhan went rogue. He was supposed to reason with you. But who would you trust? An old man whose years have got to him, or a sensible man like me? He questioned. Citrus and my parents, I thought. Well, why do you want me? To this, I already knew the answer. Your powers are essential to the side that you're on. They have the potential to help us with many different, let me say, situations. He hadn't lied. He simply left some key words out to make me feel that I had a choice. But I knew there was no real choice. The real reason he wanted me to side with him was because I was this supposed elemental master. I had all the abilities and was basically like a weapon. Whoever I sided with would be unstoppable. I don't know. I'll have to think about it, I told him. I strongly encourage you to make the choice now, Moran answered. Okay, well... I suddenly picked up my bike from beneath me and pedaled away as hard as I could. The fire was still there, but it would take only a pinch of water to extinguish it. I shot out the liquid just as I passed over the area and flew down the dirt ramp. Guessing by his dumbstruck face, I could tell that Moran hadn't counted on me being able to control and summon my elemental powers yet. Get back here! He yelled, swaying one arm in my direction. The dirt directly in front of me caught fire, but I made a sharp turn to avoid it. He didn't know what to do, and I used this brief element of surprise as a window to race out of there. Just before I flew around the bend, I glanced back at him. You've only seen an insignificant portion of my powers, boy. I'll find you again, and then you'll be sorry, he shouted as flames suddenly engulfed his body. A few moments later, they died down and revealed that he was gone. Where he went, I didn't know. I just wanted to get out of there. I rode home as fast as my legs could pedal. Once I reached the house, I set my bike down and typed the code to get into the garage. Not long after that, I wheeled my bike into the garage, closed the large door, and ran inside. Why the hurry? My dad spotted me instantly. I said, panting, I think I just met Moran. Moran? Ah, him. The newest right hand of the cloaked figure. He stopped himself suddenly. Of who? No one. Just stay inside. That traitor is dangerous, he said sharply, walking upstairs. I knew he wouldn't talk anymore. Right hand of who, though? Taking a seat on the couch, I rested for a moment before looking out the window. The cat was there, clearly looking back at me from a little post sticking out of the grass. I stood up and put my hand on the door handle, but didn't open it yet. The cat was tilting its head to one side. It was signaling me to follow it. Cautiously, I opened the door and stepped outside. What? I asked, shutting the door behind me. It looked up, but didn't answer, and instead jumped down from the post it was standing on. Listen, I know you can talk, I told the cat, following it deeper into my backyard. So? It asked, a slight grin on its face. I rolled my eyes. So I think you should tell me where we're going, because I know you can do that, I answered. As a final answer, it simply shook its head. No need. We're already here. I realized that we had stopped right outside of its shelter. Oh, I murmured as the cat walked inside. It returned with 2 vials a second later. One had the blue liquid, and one had the purple. So what did you do with Sikhan? Where is he? I asked. You're looking at him, the cat answered. This surprised me. You mean he only had enough blood and venom to fill a vial each? The cat nodded. As it happens, most of it got drained while he was held up in the air by your powers. If he had somehow died on the ground, that probably would have filled up 10 vials each, it explained. Oh, well, sorry, I said, not sure if I should have been apologizing. There was no way you could have killed him while in contact with the earth, it shrugged, putting the vials back into the shelter. Oh, okay. I suddenly had a thought about the blood and venom. What do you use it for, anyway? The snake blood and venom, I mean. I was curious now. I bring it back to Starden. Many potions and substances use snake blood and venom, you know, he answered. How do you get back to Starden? Isn't it on an island? You'll learn about it in my class, the cat answered. Your class? You're a cat. How can you have a class? I exclaimed, restraining myself from laughter. The cat is my shadow form, an animal shadow. You will have one as well. As of now, my real body is in my office, sleeping, he explained. You mean you're a human? I asked in shock. Yes. What did you think I was? Some talking cat? Actually, to be honest, yeah, I answered. The cat scoffed and strolled away from its shelter. So I see you've met Moran, it said, walking in front of me. Yeah, I only just got away. There was no point to ask how it knew anymore. Think he'll find me back here? I asked, looking around for any sign of him. Maybe. Maybe not. He did seem pretty inclined to have me on his side, I told it. Just then, I heard a faint hiss. What was that? I murmured. Snake, the cat growled. Its head jolted in several different directions, trying to identify where the snake was. Finally, it located the creature on the back wall, but not in enough time. An entire section of the wall shattered, and the bricks tumbled down, littering the back of the yard. A cloaked figure came out of the dust. Moran? Go away! I shouted, backing away as a sphere of water collected in my hand. But when they lifted their hood back, I found myself staring into the dark eyes of a sea snake. This one was big like Sakan, but seemed more dangerous. Confused who I am, boy? He asked. I didn't respond. I am General Scalabar. You may have defeated Sakan, but he was weak. Slashing his tail to the right, he crept closer. I killed one snake. I'll not hesitate to kill another, I said bravely. Oh, we'll see about that. General Scalabar laughed, and Moran came out from behind him. They advanced towards me, and I stood there, thinking about what to do. When they were almost to me, I sprayed water at Scalabar, and he stopped. He scowled, but before he could do anything, I blasted him back with wind. He gave up trying to fight and smacked into the wall. The large snake fell to the ground, and as he was recovering, Moran advanced. He leapt at me in rage, and I tried to fight back, but found he was too powerful for me to stop. Flames sprouted out of the ground all around us, and they crept closer. Moran finally pinned me to the ground. Last chance, boy! Join me or die, he growled. Never, I said simply. Moran wrinkled his nose in disgust. Have it your way, boy, he said. The flames started to lick my body, and my eyes began to droop. Suddenly, a powerful wind blew Moran down, and all the fire vanished. No! I heard Moran yell. Then, with a final look, my eyes closed. That's it for Chapter 5, Meeting Moran. Thank you so much for listening to Alex Rogue and the Crystal Pendant, written by Ryan Russon and performed by me, Jordan Levine. Score was originally created and performed by Ryan Russon. Next week, please join us for Chapter 6, The Master of Earth. Again, as always, please share the love with your friends and family by using the hashtag AlexRogueBook on any of your social media platforms. On Twitter, please contact us at AlexRogueBook or email us at alexroguebook@gmail.com if you have any questions or suggestions. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you again soon.